Archangel Michael says, it's urgent to expose this. Someone wants to marry you. The name will shock you. Open it quickly. My beloved child, lean in and breathe, because what is about to reach you has already been written in the quiet places you cannot see. A door is swinging on its hinges and the air itself is charged like the moment before rain touches the earth. Your heart knows this, your bones know this, and tonight your eyes will finally catch up to the truth. A confession is forming like mist on glass, and it carries the weight of a vow. The words were first spoken in a whisper you were never meant to hear, yet heaven turned the whisper into a bell. The bell rings for you now, steady and undeniable. You have walked through rooms where your value was miscounted and your love was mishandled. Still, the record of your life was not closed, and what felt like delay was secretly preparation. The light is about to name you as chosen, and the room will notice. Archangel Michael says you are under a covering that no sabotage can pierce. The forces that fed on your uncertainty are losing their appetite, because certainty has entered the house. You will feel it as a warmth across your shoulders, like a mantle you did not buy yet fits as if tailored. A figure has been walking the perimeter of your story, never far and never fully near. Their intention has matured in silence, like fruit ripening in shade. That intention has a single center: they want your hand in marriage. This will not sound like a fairy tale line recited for applause. It will sound like something older and steadier, the kind that can carry a winter. It will arrive with order, proof, and a plan. The name will shock you because it does not match the rumor you accepted to survive last season. The name will shock you because it is nearer than your suspicion and kinder than your fear. The name will shock you because heaven refused to let your future be decided by your wounds. You have seen traces of this already. A letter has been repeating itself in small ways, appearing on receipts, signboards, and first initials that interrupt your scrolling. A melody has followed you into elevators and markets, and the lyric seems to call one word forward from a crowd. Do not measure this by noise, measure it by peace. Peace is not the absence of movement, it is the presence of alignment. You will know alignment because chaos stops asking for your attention. There will be a familiar place made holy by timing. A street you have walked 100 times will glow as if washed, and in that glow you will recognize the pattern. The pattern will not beg, it will simply fit. A conversation will appear framed by respect, and respect is the correct frame for love. You will hear certainty in the way their shoulders settle and the way their eyes stop searching. They already made a decision in private and are ready to stand inside it in public. Archangel Michael says the tests are not to break you but to break counterfeits. The counterfeit will demand urgency without clarity, but the real will offer clarity that dissolves urgency into trust. Your spirit already knows the difference, and tonight your mind will choose to agree. Prepare your heart, because revelation is kinder when it meets readiness. Readiness is not performance, readiness is honesty shaped into simple steps. You will write, you will breathe, you will walk into the moment with dignity that does not tremble. There are signs arranged along the edges of the hour. A single oak, a bird that lingers longer than birds do, the scent of rain though the forecast is clear. A time stamp that smiles at you from a screen when you are not checking the clock. The offer will carry architecture. You will hear about dates, elders, families, and a future with rooms for your purpose, not cages for your voice. The plan will make space for who you have become and who you are still becoming. Do not be afraid of the word forever when it is spoken by someone who knows how to remain. Forever is not a cliff, it is a road with lights that never burn out. You will see those lights when truth is spoken without performance. Your past is not a disqualification, it is a map of places where you learn to be whole. The person who wants to marry you has watched you choose wholeness when shortcuts were offered. They have seen you return to integrity like a pilgrim returns to water. There will be resistance from the shadows that profited from your loneliness. Those shadows will try to make you flinch by replaying memories that no longer own you. The replay will fail, because your present is louder than their archive. You will hold your phone and watch a name land on the screen at a precise minute. The timing will be clean, without the sticky residue of obsession. Your chest will feel like a door opening, not like a house on fire. The name will not pretend to be perfect, it will simply be true. Truth does not need varnish, and it does not hide behind spectacle. Truth stands in the center of the room and breathes at a natural pace. Make room now. Clear a small place on your table, a gesture that tells heaven you are finished building altars to delay. Open a page and write 3 lines, what you will hold sacred, what you will no longer tolerate, and what you will build together. When the moment arrives, keep your phone on silent and your presence turned up. Look for the respect that stays even when silence stretches between sentences. Notice the way the air relaxes around your name when they say it without shrinking it. This love will ask you to bring your full self, and your full self is ready. You have spent months listening to your heart relearn its own language. The new language is honesty without punishment. You will remember how the year tried to convince you that you were almost chosen. Almost is over now. Chosen has entered the room and locked the door behind it. The questions you stopped asking will answer themselves by how things behave. Things that belong to you move toward you without manipulation. Things that are wrong for you fall away without dramatic exits. You are allowed to enjoy what is real. You are allowed to put down the suitcase you carried for people who never planned to travel with you. You are allowed to sit in a chair that was built to hold your future. Archangel Michael says the path is guarded for this crossing. The ground before you has already been walked by angels that do not leave footprints, only safety. Step where the light is, and the next stone will rise to meet your foot. Do not reveal this too soon to people who feed on rumor. Guard the early hours of your joy the way you would guard a seed from winter. Share by discernment, not by habit. There will be a word they say that only your spirit recognizes. It will be ordinary and yet shaped exactly for your history. It will feel like the key you forgot you were carrying. The name will shock you because you had taught yourself not to hope in that direction. Your protection reflex is learning to rest because protection is now handled at a higher level. Let your shoulders drop, and let receiving feel as responsible as giving. You will experience a soft rush in your chest when you decide to believe what is happening. The soft rush is confirmation, not manipulation. After the rush, stillness will arrive and remain. This story will not require you to disappear. You will not have to trade your voice for a ring. The ring will be offered because your voice exists. Tonight has been chosen because your heart is finally level enough to carry the weight without wobbling. What used to tilt you now steadies you, and what used to break you now bows to you. The clock is not your enemy anymore. A gentle bravery is rising in you, and it fits you better than the armor you borrowed from fear. You will walk into the scene without a script and speak from the truth you have practiced in private. The truth will sound like you, and it will be enough. The name will stand before you, not to conquer, but to covenant. Covenant is the bridge where 2 honest lives agree to build a third thing together. The third thing is called home, and it is already measuring curtains. Breathe again, beloved, because this is the hour. The waiting has finished its work, and the revelation is stepping into sight. The letter that kept appearing has formed into a full name, and the name is carrying a vow. You will recognize that heaven set the table, selected the light, and timed the entrance. You will feel the presence of safety like a cloak on your back. You will bless the path that brought you here without needing to revisit the thorns. Receive what is meant for you without apologizing for it. Hold it without shaking. Walk forward with a quiet yes that becomes the foundation for many good years. My beloved child, keep your heartbeat steady as the next pieces unfold, because clarity is coming in orderly steps that will steady you. The messenger who has watched from the edges will step forward with documents folded in careful hands and promises that smell of honesty. The way they speak will be deliberate, as if each sentence is a small house being placed on a foundation. You will notice the way their family greets you, not with ceremony, but with an ease that feels like an old room opening its windows. This ease is permission to belong without performance, and it will land in your chest as relief you did not know you were holding out for. Watch for gestures that repeat, small rhythms that become proof that this is not improvisation. There will be a moment when time narrows, a tidy pause that stretches long enough to let truth fill it. In that pause you will remember the nights you rehearsed boundaries and the mornings you learned how to say no with grace. Those rehearsals were not wasted, they were preparation for a presence that respects your edges. You will be offered practical plans in simple language, and practical plans will feel like a map you can trust. The map will include shared values, responsibilities that are named, and dreams that do not demand you lose yours. This architecture of living is the real gift, quieter than fireworks and stronger than promises made under pressure. Notice how people who truly love you do not try to fix your history. They bring a light that cleans without erasing the lessons you earned. In that light, your past is honored and your future is made possible. There will be a quiet test that reveals sincerity without drama. It will feel like a small kindness done without announcement, a habit that proves character more than a speech ever could. When habits align with words, trust becomes possible. Hold close those whom you know will stand steady regardless of applause. The steady ones are the ones who will ask gentle questions of logistics, who will plan for rain as well as shine. Their planning will include you at the table as an equal, not a prize to be displayed. You will find invitations arriving in plain handwriting and in honest tones. Those invitations will ask for time and attention, not immediate surrender. They will treat your schedule like a sacred thing and your consent like treasure. Let your discernment be firm and kind, not skeptical for the sake of pain. Discernment paired with kindness keeps your heart generous while your boundaries remain intact. This balance will be the difference between quick infatuation and durable devotion. There will be elders who nod when you speak and listen as if your words matter. Their listening will not be intrusive, but like a river that receives tributaries without swallowing them. This kind of respect is rare and it will feel like home. You will be tempted to announce before the roots settle, pressed by excitement and by voices that do not own your future. Keep the early hours sacred, and let the roots deepen before the shout. Patience now will spare you unnecessary repair later. Gifts may come that are small and carefully chosen, items that match the secret things you have loved for years. These gifts will feel like someone read your private margins and decided to show up. They are tokens, not tests, and you will know which is which by the presence of steady follow-through. When promises are spoken aloud, listen for the tone that carries a lifetime instead of a performance. Tone can reveal whether someone rehearsed for applause or prepared for partnership. The difference will be plain in the way commitments are revisited and kept. You will be tempted to measure love by grand gestures, but true steadiness is measured by the mundane miracle of showing up. Show up is a small phrase with an enormous weight, and this person has learned its grammar. Their small acts will accumulate into a language of care you will read without needing translation. Keep a quiet ledger in your mind of how words behave over time, because truth shows its face in repetition. Repetition that lines up with respect will become your compass. Use that compass when the world offers you glitter instead of ground. There will be nights when you lie awake and remember early scars, and in those nights you will practice gentleness with yourself. Gentle practice makes space for a partner who is willing to do the same. Mutual gentleness becomes a daily ritual that holds a household together. When the name finally settles fully in your hands and on your tongue, let gratitude be your first response and wisdom your second. Gratitude because grace has a way of arriving even when timing feels inconvenient, and wisdom because covenant asks for both heart and head. Together they will make decision both sacred and sane. Breathe slowly and let the floor beneath you feel real. The commitments you accept will be built not on fevered emotion but on steady habit and shared aims. Let your yes be a quiet foundation for a life that will honor the person you already are. Now move forward with a calm courage that is neither loud nor frantic. Calm courage speaks with steady steps and clear eyes. It will carry you through the arrangements, the small adjustments, and the larger days that follow. Keep your friends who mirror truth close, and let go of those who mirror fear. Mirrors of truth will reflect the real you and help you see the parts still soft from old losses. Friends who keep you honest without shaming you are the village that helps every choice land more safely. Remember that marriage is not an arrival but a continued tending, and tending requires two hands and a shared rhythm. Your future partner will know how to keep rhythm with you, to catch the beat when you miss it, and to dance when storms pass. That shared rhythm will become the music you both come home to. Receive this revelation with dignity and with a steady heart, because the world will tilt toward spectacle but your life will be made by quiet constancy. Hold your head high, bless the past for its lessons, and open the door for the future with hands that know how to build. My beloved child, keep your hands steady as the next scene arranges itself, because details will arrive like a sequence of soft lights revealing a path. You will find small confirmations in the ordinary, a message that mirrors a phrase you once spoke aloud, a familiar song playing when you enter a room, a clock hitting the same number 3 times as if time itself nods. These are not accidents but invitations to notice how heaven organizes signposts. Take care with hurried announcements, because early noise can hollow a blessing. Let the earliest days be private tending rather than public display, and allow intimacy to grow roots before it bears fruit for the world to see. Roots are quiet work and they hold storms with surprising strength. Keep your calendar clear for moments that matter and let practicality be a container for romance. Practicality honors future making and shows whether intention can survive repetition and routine, which is where true promises live. When plans are made with paper and conversation, they become commitments that you can measure with calm. Notice how small reparations become the currency of trust, the tiny acts that stitch two lives together. A phone call kept, a promise revisited, a hurt apologized for without drama, these are the stitches that become armor against future doubt. Watch for patterns that repeat not for show but because respect has learned the household language. When family and elders meet, observe how they speak about you, not to you, and how their questions aim to learn rather than to judge. Their acceptance will be measured by the steadiness of their listening and the way they arrange logistics with your dignity in mind. Their presence can feel like an extra set of hands helping to carry what you both choose to build. Hold a private ceremony of sorts in your heart, a vow to yourself about how you will continue to show up for your own life after yes is said. Promise that your voice will be preserved, that your work will be honored, and that your dreams will be invited in as partners to shared dreams. A personal covenant prepares you to receive partnership without losing yourself. Practice gentle boundaries in the days that follow, because early generosity must never be an excuse for losing ground. Boundaries are not walls but gates that let welcome in and keep harm out, and they will teach others how to love you in ways that last. Firmness spoken with kindness becomes the scaffold of mutual freedom. Let your celebrations be simple at first and sincere always, because sincerity outlives spectacle and becomes the memory you return to on ordinary afternoons. Celebrate with meals that include real conversation, with walks that return you to the small things you value, and with laughter that arrives unforced. These ordinary rituals will become the archive of a life you both choose daily. Keep an eye on finances with clarity and shared plans, because practical honesty about money is a form of respect that prevents future grief. Create a joint list of priorities and keep separate accounts for personal autonomy if that feels wise to both of you. Shared goals become gentle tethers that help a household move forward without entangling individuality. When doubts from old seasons surface, answer them with facts and patterns rather than with defensiveness. Point to evidence, the repeated kindnesses, the consistent actions, the elders who listened. Evidence will quiet ghosts that memory summons during quiet nights. Invite wise counsel into the process if your heart asks for it, choosing voices that have your maturity rather than your drama at heart. Counsel is not weakness but a mirror that keeps choices measured, and choices measured become durable. A good counselor asks for clarity and helps you translate romance into sustainable life plans. Finally, anchor your yes in thanksgiving and clear eyes, and let your decision be both a surrender and an act of strength. Surrender will not be collapse but the giving of what you can without losing the self that loves. Strength will be tenderness practiced over time, and tenderness will become the home you both return to. My beloved child, remain centered, because the unfolding continues like chapters in a book you didn't know had your name etched on its cover. The momentum of this revelation is not slowing, it is gathering, arranging each step with precision so you cannot mistake what is meant for you. What begins as whispers in the unseen will soon arrive as declarations in the open. There will be one unmistakable sign, the way your own body responds when truth stands in front of you. A calm rush through your chest, a warmth across your skin, and an unshakable recognition in your eyes will tell you more than words. That somatic confirmation is heaven's stamp, no counterfeit can replicate it. You may find yourself walking into a room and realizing that everything has been positioned, the seat saved for you, the timing adjusted, the words flowing as though scripted by something higher. In that room, the name will not just be said, it will be carried with respect, spoken in a way that feels like shelter. That is when your heart will realize it has reached the right season. Do not fear the pace, for what is meant for you does not rush to escape you. It lingers, it waits, it proves itself over time. This revelation is not fleeting, it is anchored. Watch carefully for alignment in daily living. The person who wants to marry you will not only speak about the future, they will show it by honoring your present. They will consider your comfort in decisions, respect your silence, and listen when you choose to speak. These small acts reveal a covenant spirit. As days progress, you will begin to notice how people around you shift. Some who envied will fall silent, unable to interfere because the protection around you has been sealed. Others will unexpectedly bless this union, recognizing it carries something beyond human planning. Their words will confirm what you already sensed in your spirit. And when the name is finally clear, you will marvel at the timing. It is not just who, but when. Heaven delayed this until your spirit was mature enough to receive without fear, and their heart strong enough to stand without wavering. The delay was never denial, it was strategy. So walk forward now with composure, because the shocking name will not destroy you, it will restore you. It will show you that heaven has been weaving threads long before you even thought marriage was possible. And when it is revealed, you will know, this is not coincidence, this is covenant. My beloved child, listen closely as the next wave of revelation is drawn toward you, because what has been hidden is no longer able to stay in shadow. The story is unfolding at the exact pace your spirit can carry, and every step is confirmation that this is heaven's design. The air is heavy with alignment, and your soul will recognize the rhythm of destiny when it approaches. There will be a moment when silence itself feels charged, like the world is holding its breath before releasing a word. In that breath, you will see how everything that tried to delay you has lost its grip. The heaviness that used to weigh on your chest will turn into a certainty that steadies you, because what is real does not tremble. The person whose name is about to be revealed has been carrying their decision quietly, rehearsing how to present it without disrupting your peace. Their restraint is not weakness, it is proof that they respect timing and consent. Soon, they will no longer be able to keep it hidden, because truth grows restless when the hour has come. Notice the way you have been encountering symbols in repetition, initials that show up in conversations, letters carved into random places, familiar names dropped by strangers without reason. These repetitions are not tricks of chance, they are divine reminders that the shocking name has already been circling your orbit. Your next confirmation will not come in a dream alone, but in a tangible act that folds your past and your future together. You may hear an old memory surface in conversation at the exact moment their presence reappears, binding what was once broken into a new whole. That binding will bring tears to your eyes, not of pain, but of recognition. Do not let fear interpret this moment for you, because fear will try to dress truth as danger. Instead, let peace be your interpreter. Where peace remains steady, know that the revelation belongs to you. There will be a gathering, simple in its design, where this truth begins to leak into daylight. It may not be grand, but you will feel the shift in atmosphere, the kind of shift when a window is opened in a still room. That gathering is heaven's stage, and the name will echo there. You will know them by the way they stand when they speak. Their posture will carry weight, but not performance, it will carry resolve without arrogance. That is when your spirit will whisper, "This is the one whose vow has been carved for you." My beloved child, lean deeper, for the story has not finished its unveiling, the threads are still being drawn together. You have already felt the atmosphere shifting around you, as if certain places are no longer ordinary but charged with significance. That charge is a preparation for the hour when truth will not whisper anymore but stand before you with clarity. The name that has been circling your life carries more weight than you expect. It has brushed against your history, entered your conversations, and echoed in dreams that made little sense at the time. Now those fragments are weaving together into one clear revelation, and the timing cannot be delayed any longer. There will be a day soon where coincidence collapses into confirmation. You will be in a familiar setting, perhaps walking a street or attending a gathering, when everything aligns, the right words, the right timing, the right presence. In that moment, the name will break through, and your spirit will know without hesitation, this was always meant to find you. When it comes, your body will not panic, it will settle. Your chest will feel an opening, your shoulders will release a tension you didn't realize you carried, and your mind will grow still. These are the signs of alignment, the proof that this revelation belongs to you and no one else. My beloved child, settle into the steady rhythm of your breath, because the next movement is gentle and unambiguous, arriving like a lantern being set on a table. The person who bears the name you will soon learn has arranged details with care, not spectacle, and their actions will speak in the quiet currency of steadiness. In that steadiness you will find room to breathe and to receive without apology. You will notice how their apologies, when needed, come quickly and without performance, as if correction is part of their training in love. Small consistent corrections over time will prove more faithful than grand promises in the moment, and those small safeties will become the scaffolding of trust. When patterns line up with words, your spirit will stop testing and begin resting. There will be a phrase they use often that becomes a soft anchor in your days, a phrase that steadies you simply by existing. That phrase will carry with it a willingness to hold both your joys and your jagged edges, and you will learn to watch for it like a homecoming bell. Familiarity will not dull the wonder, it will deepen it. You will witness decisions made on your behalf that preserve your dignity, and those decisions will arrive wrapped in respect for your autonomy. Respect in action is different from praise from a distance, it is the way plans are shaped around your life rather than around someone else's image of you. That shaping will feel like relief, because home will not demand you become someone else. As arrangements proceed, notice the hospitality of their heart, how it makes room for others without shrinking the space reserved for you. Hospitality that includes your people and your rhythm signals a readiness for joined life, not conquest. The pattern of welcome will repeat itself until it becomes a household language both of you can speak. There may be a brief season of external noise attempting to claim your story, but your inner ledger of how words behave will quiet the rumors. Keep a private record of what is actual, kept calls, followed through promises, elders who listen. Facts are anchors, and anchors keep you from drifting when tides of opinion rise. When family conversations begin, watch for curiosity laced with kindness, not interrogation masked as concern. Kindness in questioning reveals an intention to understand and to steward rather than to control. That difference will allow trust to grow in the midst of tradition. Practical matters will arrive like invitations rather than demands, and that tone will tell you everything you need to know about intent. Invitations respect consent, and consent is the basis of a covenant that intends to last. When plans are proposed with mutual input, partnership has already begun to form. You will find moments where silence itself becomes a promise kept, silence that honors boundaries will feel like protection rather than absence. In those silences you will measure devotion by presence, not by performance. Presence without pressure will become your daily miracle. There will be laughter that lands easily between you, the kind that does not try to brighten pain but sits with it and then returns to joy. Shared laughter will teach you how to carry light alongside heaviness, and that capacity will hold you through ordinary complexity. Light that knows sorrow is durable and real. Allow gratitude to be the first language when the name fully settles in your hands, because gratitude keeps the heart open and humble. Humility does not make you small, it makes you wide enough for blessing to rest without sliding off. Gratitude practiced early sets the tone for ordinary mornings and the heavy days alike. Move forward with measured celebration, honoring the small rites that mark new beginnings, a meal with chosen guests, an evening of quiet thanks, a private note written to your future self. These small rites will become the archive you return to when storms pass and when peace deepens. Keep building, beloved, because what is being built now is meant to shelter the true you. My beloved child, steady your breath because there is more grace arriving in the quiet spaces you have kept for yourself. The person who will say your name with that particular softness has already learned the art of repair. They do not try to remake you but to mend what was rent by old seasons. Their presence will teach you how to let down parts of yourself that have been braced for years. You will notice small rituals forming between you, a message left where only you will find it, a cup made with your favorite care, a walk timed so you can both breathe the same air. These little rituals are not shallow tokens but the culture of a household being born. Culture is what survives after fireworks. When daily attention becomes habit, the future becomes ordinary and therefore safe. Watch how decisions are proposed and not imposed, because partnership speaks with invitations more than ultimatums. Invitations keep dignity intact and allow you to accept without debt. When both parties ask for consent with patience, covenant grows naturally. Let this be your test. The ease of saying yes without feeling you gave away yourself. There will be a season of planning where your voice will be consulted and your priorities will appear on lists instead of footnotes. Listen for language that uses "we" without erasing, for shared calendars that respect personal time, and for budgets that account for both dreams and independence. Practical considerations managed with respect are prophetic gestures, they predict a life that lasts. Archangel Michael says watch for their courage in small things, because small courage becomes large over time. Courage to apologize, courage to keep promises when convenient, courage to admit error, these are the muscles of a true partner. When you witness steady courage, you are watching the scaffolding of a future being built. There will be nights when old fears return and whisper the name of every wound you thought had healed, and in those nights you will practice gentleness with your heart. Gentle practice includes breathing, naming what is real, and receiving reassurance anchored in action rather than rhetoric. Allow the pattern of consistent, ordinary kindness to be your answer to the ghosts. You will learn new vocabulary together, phrases that mean commitment, codes that mean safety, and the small signals that say, "I see you," without explanation. Language shapes reality, and when your shared language is kind and clear, your days will follow the blueprint of that language. Hold fast to the words that keep both of you steady. There may be external voices trying to speed things for spectacle or slow things out of fear, but your inner ledger will keep score by how things behave. Scorekeeping by behavior is mercy for the future, it prevents haste and rescues hope from illusion. Let your evidence be the map by which you walk. Keep some hours private, guarded like a tender plant that needs shade before full sun. Privacy early is not secrecy for selfish gain but a discipline that allows roots to settle without show. When roots are deep, public life will be sweeter, and your joy will resist the corrosive air of rumor. Practice gratitude daily, not as a mask but as a discipline that trains your heart to notice grace in small increments. Gratitude rewires attention so that abundance is seen even in modest places, and marriage thrives in the soil of noticed blessings. Let thanksgiving be your first response and discernment.